by convenience or sheer ineptitude. It is well known that James Clapper, former director of the National Intelligence Service within the United States, testified before a House committee on Homeland Security that ISIS fighters have been inserted in refugees. ISIS itself, in fact, has claimed to have covertly embedded at least 4,000 jihadis in refugees.
ABC News investigation tonight, a troubling new development just 1 month after the terror attacks in Paris. You'll remember this image. Authorities say one of the alleged suicide bombers using this fake passport to slip into Europe among the Syrian refugees. Tonight, a chilling new warning. ISIS now has its hands on at least one official passport printing machine. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross on the concern those fake passports could be used here.
With the U.S. and other countries on high alert tonight for ISIS attacks, American authorities are warning the terror group may have infiltrated followers into this country with authentic-looking passports it has printed itself, almost impossible to detect.
If ISIS has been able to acquire legitimate passports or machines that create legitimate passports, this would represent a major security risk to the United States.
Authorities say as ISIS swept through major Syrian cities last year, it was able to seize government passport printing machines, the kind used by major governments around the world. A Homeland Security Investigations Bulletin sent to law enforcement in the last week and obtained by ABC News showed examples of suspect passports and said ISIS may have boxes full of blank passports. The bulletin warned that individuals from Syria with passports issued in these ISIS-controlled cities or who had passport blanks may have traveled to the U.S. The director of the FBI first revealed the problem publicly on Wednesday.
The intelligence community is concerned that they have the ability, the capability to manufacture fraudulent passports, which is a concern in any setting.
Several of the fraudulent passports have already been discovered in Europe, most notably in the Paris attacks, when authorities said one of the suicide bombers used this forged Syrian passport to come to Europe as a refugee.
French Interior Minister Bernard Cazeneuve told reporters that there is a, quote, real fake document, unquote, industry in ISIS strongholds in Syria, Iraq, and Libya.
Travelled to southern Turkey myself. I spoke with a number of contacts who told me that the trade was rife, both for Syrians who'd lost their documents, but also other people seeking a new identity or pretending to be Syrian. Members of ISIS are buying these passports. They're buying them to create new identities for themselves and their families so they can travel to Europe undercover the millions of genuine refugees who are seeking sanctuary from the terrible war in Syria. I know for a fact they're for sale in the border towns of Turkey. They may be for sale elsewhere, but certainly in the towns on the Turkish border in the south where a lot of Syrian people now live. I can't go into too many details because to do so would put in danger people who've given me their trust. But all I can say is the passport was created in Syria by a Syrian forger, and it was smuggled across the border to Turkey where I took hold of it. I've spoken to a passport and identity fraud expert, a former Scotland Yard detective, who suggested that while there are a couple of flaws in the passport, it is good enough for somebody to be admitted into southern Europe, Italy or Greece.
Immigration Services, which is a component of the Department of Homeland Security, will welcome you even if you come from a hotbed of jihad terrorism and have a fake passport. AFDI operative Laura Boomer went to a USCIS office and told an official that she had met a family of illegal immigrants from Syria and wanted to make sure that they got immigration services, but were afraid to come into the USCIS themselves because, as she put it, they don't have documents because they came here illegally. This shocking video shows what happened next.